divorce, custody, DUI, estates, trust, wills, auto accidents, dog bites, medical malpractice. You name it, we answer it. Auto accidents, any and everything. We take on all comers because that's what they do at Beatrice Cop. So any questions that you might have, legally speaking, we'll take them right now. Good. I have a couple lines open in Youngstown at 330-729-9977. 330-729-9977. 330-729-9977. We'll get you through to us on News Radio 570 WKBN and your legal questions answered. 330-729-9977. All right, is how you get in touch with us for legal questions. They only take them till 6. So get on the lines early because at 6 o'clock, we leave people waiting each and every week, and we don't want to do that to you. Legal Show brought to you by Beatrice Cop. And now let's go to law firm. You know, if there's one guy that should have a TV show, this would be a great TV show just following his life. Cameras in his house to see him and his wife and his family and his day-to-day activities.
Ron, is my mic turned on?
It would be better than the Kardashians. Let's see if Attorney Beatrice is joining us tonight.
I am.
Hello.
And I'm here. Mark and Frank are late. And I had a...
Mark and Frank are here.
No, you were late. You just put your headphones on.
We answered the call. We answered the bell.
No, you guys are both late. You're both not.
Well, no, technically, Dave, Mark is correct. He is here at the beginning of the show. He is not late. He is joining the show on time, unlike you last week when you were not on the program on time. Mark is on time.
Thank you,
Ron.
Ron.
Can I tell you about my show? Ron, can I tell you about my day? Can I tell you about my week?
Oh, I would love to hear it. I'm dead serious. Yes, you may.
I told you the story about getting bum rushed, right?
No.
You didn't hear this story?
Tell me and I'll let you know.
So a client calls me. He gets arrested weekend before last. He calls me. He says, hey, I got to be in court in Youngstown Municipal Court at 1:30 on Monday. I said, no problem. He goes, he comes in my office. He goes, but the police took my keys and my wallet. I go, why'd the police take your keys? He goes, I don't know. So I called the detective. He wasn't in. I left him a message. I'm walking my client into court. Ron, I'm about 1.5 feet behind him. Like ghosts. The Violent Crimes Task Force for the United States Marshal's Office come up with their M4s and their Glocks pulled out and everything else. I went, whoa, what?
Just appeared out of the air.
I swear to God, out of thin air. They came from nowhere. When you aren't expecting that, right? It scares you. Like,
absolutely.
These guys are dressed like, I didn't do anything. They wanted to arrest my client. They surrounded us, and they were dressed like my son when he gets combat deployed, right?
Wow.
I mean, and I was like, whoa. I have nothing. I have a briefcase. I don't have any. There's a pen in there. I might be able to stab you with the pen, but I think the Glock and the M4 might be a better weapon to use on me. So they surround my client. They show me a warrant, and they arrest them. I'm like, well, that was a fun day. Right? I called the detective. I said, detective, if you would have just called me, I would have brought my client in. You didn't have to have me have a near heart attack experience turning my client in.
Did you just fall on the ground?
Let me ask you, Dave.
No, I mean,
what did you do, Dave?
I swear to God,
when you
I
went
was
home?
walking into the municipal court. Seriously, they appeared like ghosts. All of a sudden, they surrounded us, and they're big dudes.
Were they screaming, "Get the ground"?
No. They were just big dudes. They come up, and they're all bigger than me, and I'm 6 foot, right? They had all the battle gear on, flap jackets, guns, M4s, knee pads, gloves. I'm like, whoa!
What do they need knee pads for?
I don't know.
You didn't make it to court, Dave?
They took my client up to court with me in handcuffs, and the judge says, I'll see you next Wednesday, which was today or yesterday. And that's when we went to court.
And how'd that go?
It went all right, but it was just, it was a little harrowing. Okay, to get surrounded like that's never happened to me before.
You won't forget that anytime soon.
Well, what did you do? I mean, with the underwear you were wearing that day, did you burn
I had to go home.
I
had to go home.
Yeah, right.
It was a midday change.
right, exactly. It's probably best that you weren't in that confined courtroom after that anyway.
You know what, Ron?
It would be very disturbing.
When I've seen it on tape. I've seen horrific autopsy photos. I've seen horrific murder scene photos. I've seen horrific videos. But when you are the subject of the video, when it is happening to you, it is a different, it hits differently.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
Mark, it hits differently.
Wow.
I don't know what to tell you. It definitely hit me differently. Okay.
Could imagine.
And then today, I have to go to the FBI, one of the 3-letter agents, the FBI office. I have to take, Connor with me up there. Because everything now is encrypted when they give you discovery on a federal case.
Our IT guy.
Oh, yeah. So take Connor up there. I swear to God. He and this FBI agent, they were speaking English. I had no idea what they were talking about. They might as well have been speaking Mandarin or Spanish or French or something else. They were talking, and I understood words. I had no idea what they were saying. And Connor was going, yep. Mm-hmm. Oh, is that what I did wrong? Yeah. No, you can't do it that way. I didn't do it this way. I'm like, Well, I felt, honest to God, I felt like a Neanderthal.
We've come a long way from Fortran and COBOL.
Yeah.
That's what I studied in college.
That's interesting that he said he felt like a Neanderthal. Someone said, hey, Dave is a superstar on whatever. What is that platform that you're
TikTok.
on, Dave? Okay, now hang on a second. So somebody sends me an email, says, oh, Dave's a superstar on TikTok. Here's a link to his stuff. All right. So, and all these hits. So I click on this link and boy, I tell you something. I was looking at it, Mark, and I thought, God, he's really aged, Mark, is what I thought.
Well, he likes to get those close-ups. He gets.
I know.
It's
that's
all
what
face.
I was noticing.
Right.
And it's like
I've
I'm
learned
looking at him.
whole new language with these Gen Zers. They have a whole new language.
This isn't about language. This is about the visual. I get all
Well,
these
I'm
pictures,
old, Ron.
Mark,
What do you
on
want
my
me to tell
screen.
you? I've been practicing law almost 40 years, Ron.
It's been tough on you, Dave.
Well, yeah.
Well, can you tell me
a
then?
staring contest with one of the witnesses this week. He was like trying to, stare me down. I'm not going to let him stare me down.
Was he mean mugging you?
Oh, he's mean mugging. I mean mugged him right back.
Yeah, but how come, Dave, that when I look, and I know it's been,
he was
you
mean
say
mugging
40
me.
years,
I was
it's
mean
been tough.
mugging him. I go, that dude's going to break eye contact before I do. And
But
he did.
I look at DeVecchio. He still looks young and
Because
good.
Thank you, Ron.
He's 11 years younger than me.
Okay, I look at your original partner, Mark Danny. Still looks youthful.
No.
Yes, he does.
There's a lot of things.
I'm going back to all of these.
There's
people,
a lot
all
of things you could say. You cannot say Mark.
Yes, I can.
No, you cannot. Well, then
And I
you've
looked
not
at you.
seen him recently.
It was like looking at a ghost.
I am a ghost. I'm just a former.
I thought
shell
you were
of-
America's favorite boomer.
I
Isn't
am.
that your-
Boomer out. They call me the law father on TikTok. They call me the law father. They call me uncle, grandpa, and their favorite boomer.
Right.
Especially when it's on TikTok.
TikTok.
I thought you said TikTok.
Yeah. It's like,
You know,
Ron,
Ron, I've learned. Go ahead.
Did you ever see Son of a Woman?
yes. Yeah.
Tremendous movie. So the guy that sells the Ferraris, and he talks about he can move Ferraris, and Pacino's in there with the young kid, and they want
Tom
to drive
Cruise.
not Tom
No,
Cruise.
no,
It's,
no.
the kid.
Oh, the play
Well,
Robin. He played Robin in Batman and Robin.
Exactly. Yeah, I forget the actor's name, but they're in there, and he's trying to talk him into letting his son, who he's saying is his son at the time, drive the Ferrari, and he says, "Sir, this is the finest machine." And so he says, "I bet you move a lot of Ferraris." And the guy says, "Ask anyone from coast to coast. I'm known like butter and toast. They call me the Gray Ghost." That's Beatrice now.
The Gray Ghost.
But have you seen the hits the guy gets on this TikTok stuff? I mean, I was looking at it. I was studying his site. Once I got over the initial visual thing of, my God, he's really aged.
He went viral.
Yeah,
I'm called I am what they call an influencer now.
They asked him to do a commercial during the Super Bowl this year.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, for what? For an assisted living facility?
No, for Depends.
I
Depends.
probably. It was just. It was really something.
Ron,
Mark, I thought that boating would make him less stressful. He
the
seemed like
boat is on sticks in a heated storage. I have not been on vacation. I've been working Saturday and Sunday. This Saturday, I have to drive to Columbus to hire a lawyer for a client of mine. Okay.
Well, you are a lawyer. Why do you got to hire a lawyer?
Because it's complicated, and I don't want to have to talk over your head. But let me just tell you something.
Frank could explain it to me.
Let me just tell you something I've learned, because I've been interacting a lot with these Gen Zers,
Oh yeah, you're
He
right on
loves
their
Gen
level.
Z.
No,
How
I
old are
do.
Gen Zers?
So 38, like Frank's age and under.
But I'm not
38.
really a Gen Z.
Yeah, you kind of are. You're at
Are
the
you really?
But I don't.
you're at the top
don't-
end of Gen
Yeah, I
Zers.
don't-
Well, no,
Go
he's
look it up
talking-
on your
I
Google machine.
understand
Look it up
age-wise.
on your Google machine.
Yes,
Go
you
look
already
it up on
calls
your
it-
Google
First
machine.
of all, he calls a phone a Google machine. I can't take it. I
Right.
can't take it.
Right.
Like my grandma, but God bless her, she used to live with us. She was in her 80s. My mom's mom, and she used to call Nintendo Tendos. No Tendos. If she didn't want me to play Nintendo, she'd say no Tendos.
Nintendo.
He's calling my phone a Google machine.
It is a Google machine.
Right.
No.
It's like a crazy old grandpa. Just put up with it, Frank.
Anyway, so as I'm interacting with these Gen Zers, they're a little
Yes.
upset with our generation. I got to be honest with you. And
Mhm.
they don't have. I mean, they kind of do have grounds to be upset with us.
Really?
We've left the place screwed up for them, Mark.
Huh?
We're $36 trillion in debt. They can't go to college without, mortgaging their
Yeah.
first 10 years of their career.
Yep.
They can't get good paying jobs. They can't buy houses.
They're not buying
anymore.
houses, right?
Okay, so, and I told them, I said, well, the only thing I could tell you is back in the day, we lived through the 60s and the 70s. I was telling Leo this. I said, and you're too young to remember this, but we had a hot war going on in Vietnam.
Yeah.
We had a president assassinated. We had a civil rights leader assassinated. We had a presidential candidate assassinated.
Right.
The cities were aflame,
Right.
and we somehow lived through it.
Right.
And we'll live through this period. Everyone's acting like, oh my God, democracy is going to end. No, it's not.
Right.
It's just we're going through a rough patch. We'll get through it. But back then, the older generation, like, I don't like people slamming Gen Zers. I really don't. Like, they're just trying to figure stuff out in life, right? But back in the day, we wore long
Are you
hair.
a Gen Z advocate?
Yeah, I am. We wore long hair. Okay. We smoked marijuana.
You
on
didn't have
campuses.
long hair. You had a fro.
Well, of course, I had a big afro.
You had a
I
Frank wig.
did have a big
Yeah,
afro.
I mean,
We wore wide.
No, Frank,
Bright colored
don't
stuff.
listen to any
We
of
were
this
called
nonsense he's
hippies.
saying. No,
Okay?
you weren't.
We were.
No, Dave was working at the Brown Derby and he was
Ah.
performing in Hello Dolly. That's what Dave was doing. I mean,
That's true,
I mean,
Frank. That's true.
right. I mean, he was at the Brown
Well,
Derby
I'm
and doing
gonna
Hello
talk. I'm
Dolly.
talking the '60s into the '70s.
I'm
It
talking
was a
you.
It was a crazy time in America
Did
then.
you wear tie dye?
I did.
Did you?
I had big.
Did you go to
these
Woodstock?
Oh, yeah, bell bottoms.
No.
I know. I've seen
bell
pictures.
bottoms?
Oh, yeah, I've
Used
seen
to wear
pictures.
platform
Oh, yeah.
shoes.
Oh, listen.
Oh, going to the discotheque.
Listen, I've seen some
That was the
pictures
thing,
with,
man.
Did you ever
He
tell
wasn't
somebody,
gonna-
give me some skin?
Oh yeah.
Give me some skin. That was
No,
like
he
this,
was-
right?
Five.
No,
He was not
yeah,
doing
give
that.
me
Don't
some
fall for
skin.
this. He was asking somebody, "Do you want that medium or medium well, sir?"
Oh please, Ron.
Well, you
And
went
all
to
I'm
Brown
saying is,
Derby.
Like
You
I
worked
love,
at the Brown
I
Derby.
love Bill Maher. I love watching his show. But
Hello,
he slammed,
Dolly.
he slammed-
Oh, hello.
Well, hello, Dolly. Well, hello.
We're gonna
Dolly,
break
it's
records on the
so
radio
good
tonight.
to have you back where you belong.
Oh God,
This
dogs
was
are howling in the
right here.
background.
I was Stanley. I played Stanley the waiter and Hello, Dolly in my high school senior play. There. Now that you
Can
know
I
that.
ask you a question?
Go ahead.
As a thespian in high school, did that attract a lot of women?
No. I've never really been a guy, a woman guy. Okay. I was the nice guy that
What do you
always
mean
got
you've
hurt.
been
You were the side
So you're
man.
saying
I was,
you're
I
saying-
was, as the Gen Zers would call it now, I was a simp. Okay.
What is
What's a
All right,
simp?
so what,
Why don't you look it up?
What? I mean, I got a niece in high school, a nephew in grade school.
What is a
What's a simp?
Look it up.
Oh, stop it.
I can
A
explain.
term used to
ridiculous.
describe behavior of a person. Simp is an internet slang term describing someone who shows excessive sympathy and attention toward another person, typically to someone who does not reciprocate the same feeling
I'm a
in
simp.
pursuit of affection or sexual relationship.
I was a simp.
Right,
How'd you know?
right.
Because I've been interacting with these Gen
'Cause he's a-
Zers on TikTok.
Well, what do you just say? Hey, how do you guys talk? I mean, how
No,
does that even
I
come up?
see their language. They say things and they go, oh, he's not a simp. And I go, okay, what's a simp? I go, yeah, I'm not a simp. That's right. I'm not a simp. But actually, back in the day, I was a simp. Okay.
I mean,
I think
Outro,
they
you know
mean
what that
he's-
means?
Oh, just ignore that. Ignore that. Just I think they mean that you were simple-minded.
that's what I thought. The simp. I'm like, what?
That's what I thought that they meant with that, Dave. I didn't think they meant as in depth as you did. So you're telling me though, when you had a starring role in Hello Dolly in high school, at the time when you're getting your clothes in, I believe the chubby section or whatever husky.
Husky,
section.
yes.
Yeah, that you weren't attracting women in that, like a quarterback would be for the football team.
Nope. I was a little Delulu back in the day, but no more.
The what?
Delulu. That's another Gen Z.
That's a Gen Z.
What is Delulu?
Look it up.
I'm not looking it up. Just tell me.
Diluted.
Why
It
would I
No,
means
I'm not
he's
going to look it up. No,
I
you're
don't even know how to spell Delulu.
Delulu. I'm not Delulu.
I thought Lulu was
But-
your guy.
No,
Delulu
Lulu
is an internet
no,
slang
no.
term used to describe the belief that one can influence one's own destiny through sheer willpower.
What is that? Delusional?
No,
Yes,
it's
it
not
sounds
delusional.
delusional.
Right,
Well, that's
right.
what it sounds like to me.
Sounds
Delulu.
delusional to me.
What the?
You know, Frank, you're a brilliant man, Frank.
thank
Really.
you.
Frank,
But hold
you're
on.
acting like the old man here. I'm acting like the Gen Zer.
That language is ridiculous. I don't
Okay, I'm
care
gonna
if
look.
Gen
Well, hold on a
Z is
second.
or not.
Google machine. Hold on. It actually look.
Stop calling it a Google machine.
quiet.
It can't be a Gen
What
Z.
age is Gen Z considered? Okay, let's see what the Google machine says. All right. A Gen Z is people born between 1997 and 2012,
Well,
meaning they
guess
would
what?
be
I was born in 1986.
meaning between the ages of 13 and 28.
Are you Generation X? No, I'm Generation X.
Millennials.
I'm
You're a
39 years
millennial.
What
old.
is a
Sadly,
millennial?
I'm a millennial. I'm on the top end of the millennial.
Oh,
Yeah.
whatever. A millennial
am.
was born from 1981 to 1996.
Yeah.
So you're right in the heart of the
You're a
in
millennial.
the midsection of the
19
millennials.
Yeah. What was it?
81.
There you go.
81 to
81.
what?
96,
What is a Gen X?
65, or 61.
Gen X is hold on, quiet. End date, start date 65, end date 80.
Yep, that's me.
So you're a Gen
No,
X.
I'm a millennial. I'm a
You're-
millennial.
No, Ron.
You're the
no.
great generation.
No.
You're,
Ron, I
you're
hate
part
to
of the
tell
great
you.
generation, Ron.
I
Oh, no,
hate
you're
to
a
tell
boomer.
you, you know what they call me? Their favorite boomer. Boomer out.
Mm.
We're boomers. Okay.
No,
You
you're a sick or whatever they say.
Simp.
Simp.
You're a simp, Dave.
Okay.
You're a simp.
Don't be. I'm very
Are you
sus
sure?
of
Are you sure
calling me
they're
a
not
simp.
typing right when they say? Do
FR,
they mean to
okay?
do
FR,
they mean to?
IRL.
Is it-
Do not call me a simp.
Now you're telling me. that
Do they mean to
people who
say,
talk like
Frank? Let me
this-
ask you this:
Go ahead.
Is it a typo? Do they mean to say sap, not
No,
simp?
simp.
Maybe it's a typo.
Potentially,
All right,
but
I'm gonna look it
but
up.
I don't understand how you can say that this generation is misunderstood and whatever he was saying earlier, and they speak like this. I don't understand.
That's why they're misunderstood.
Yeah, right.
Right.
No one can understand.
Right, exactly.
Listen to me.
I
Listen
need
to
a
me.
freaking
Back in
Google
the
machine
day,
to
back in
understand
the day, we had like groovy, like we use the word groovy.
groovy.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
What's
groovy.
wrong with groovy?
How about far out?
It's in
Far
the-
out, yeah.
Yeah,
But to the
far
older
out, man.
generation.
Far and out are both in the dictionary.
Right?
No, we had our own.
Look up simp, sus, whatever.
Oh,
What's
it's
the other
simp.
language you talk
Oh,
about?
sus. You want to know what sus means? Okay. What?
I bet that's food,
No.
sustenance.
No.
It should mean
No.
You know,
sus.
I
sus
can only,
mean-
hey Frank,
Yes, sir.
I can only wait till the day he uses.
Sus
these
means
terms
when you
like in
figure something
Kirschbaum's
out.
courtroom
No.
or
Oh,
whatever.
curse! The judge would slap him silly.
All right. Sus.
I mean,
you
you know,
ready?
I
You'd
can
hold him in
hardly wait.
contempt.
Giving the impression that something is questionable or dishonest.
Suspect.
Yes,
Yeah,
sus.
sus.
Yeah, it's sus. Okay, I
So
could
it's
get that
sus.
one.
It's sketch. It's like sketch.
Well,
Yeah.
sketchy.
No, it's sketch.
No,
Get the
it's sketchy.
get the lingo right.
I would. It's not
It's
language.
It's not Lango, unless that's a Gen Z thing
Yeah.
too.
It is. Do you know what outro means?
No idea.
OU2RO. Look it up.
Goodbye.
It's
Leaving?
sort of like how you leave.
Okay.
Outro, like outro.
Outro. Yeah. Like when you say instead of saying goodbye,
That's a
they-
theatrical term, isn't
You
it?
know, we gotta hire these people in a few years. That's sad and scary.
why is it sad and scary?
Well, they don't know how to talk.
They do know how to talk. They just have their own thing. They're just trying to find their way through life, like we all did
Yeah,
when we were
like
their
back in
age.
Dave's day, he spoke pig Latin.
They better get a map.
Oh,
They
my
need an
God.
app May
Listen to me.
to
When I
find
went to
erections
college,
day.
when I went to college, it was no more expensive than going to Mooney back in the day.
Okay.
And nowadays, these poor kids, they gotta go into debt to get a college degree.
David,
YSU
everybody
and
has to
Ursuline
go
are
into
still kind of
debt.
close. YSU and Ursuline are still close.
I know, but that's high school. Back when I went to high school, it was nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
Or when I went to college, it was nothing.
Yeah.
I got a college degree and a law degree. It wasn't that expensive.
When I went to John Carroll
Everything's
room and board,
expensive right now.
No,
Every private
education.
high school.
No, wait a minute. Well, hold on.
Every college education.
Not
is
back in the
expensive.
day. Not back in the day.
Okay, David, we don't live in the day.
Okay, but why are you getting mad
I'm not
at
getting
these
mad.
millennials and these Gen Zers?
Suck
that-
it up. Go to work.
Oh, you know what? You're terrible.
Oh,
You
come
sound
on.
like an old man now.
I'm not
You
an old
sound
man.
like the
Wow.
people
No,
that when
don't
I was
give me that.
protesting Vietnam War, they
Yeah,
go,
right.
"How anti-American are you? You don't think you should be in Vietnam War?" Okay.
I'm not talking about a Vietnam or wars. I'm talking about. Don't
It's
tell
just
me
that
about,
there's a generational difference between boomers, millennials, Gen Zers. Okay, there is a generational difference, and it's easy. Wait,
they don't
hold
wanna
on a
work.
second. No, they do want to work, Frank. That's wrong. You
I'm
cannot
sorry.
categorize them all like that.
Do
Okay.
they work?
Bravo, Frank. Bravo.
No, look, Connor
don't work.
works hard.
He
Connor
does.
does.
Okay,
Yeah, Connor
Daniel
does.
works hard.
Outlier.
does.
Outlier.
He's an
Jim
outlier.
Melfi works hard.
Do they say sus?
Yeah, they do.
Do they say sus
Call
or jizzy,
Daniel
gizzy,
right now.
gizzy, whatever
Call,
the hell
Dan-
you
Gizzy,
say?
call
gizzy.
Daniel right now.
Simpy.
No, I'm not
Simp.
calling.
Call Daniel right now.
No.
Call him.
Call
Because I
him.
guarantee you.
I'm
Call
not
him a
calling
simp.
Daniel right now, and Daniel does work hard, and he doesn't.
So
talk
does
like
Connor.
An idiot.
You know what I know?
No, they don't talk like an idiot like that in front of us. But when they're together, that's how they talk.
No, they don't.
Okay.
Daniel doesn't talk like that. Jimmy
Yeah,
doesn't talk
yeah,
like that. and
they
Connor
do.
doesn't talk like
All
Yeah,
I know
they
is
do.
nobody
Only the
bothers the
people
Gen
who bothers
Xers.
you on
That's all I got to
TikTok.
say.
Do we have any calls, Rod? This is getting out of hand. Can we have some calls, Rod? We do want to
Yes.
answer.
No
Break
Gen
this
Z
up. Let's
calls,
talk to some
please.
normal
No
people.
Gen Z calls. Frank and I
No,
will not
no,
be able to
listen to
answer
me.
your question.
Gen Zers, millennials.
They don't listen
Gen
to this
Xers.
show, David. They don't even know there's a radio.
Okay. But they're watching us on
We're gonna pause
Instagram.
for,
We're on
We'll
Instagram.
pause
We're
for
on
the-
Facebook. Call in.
we'll do the
I'm tired
headlines
of
and come
everyone
back
beating
with
them up.
more. Stay tuned.
I spend a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain,
Frank Cassis, and of course, the man himself, the kingmaker, and the founder of Beatrice Cop, attorney David Beatrice. And you say you want to take some calls, David?
Yes.
All right, let's do so. All right, you're on the air with our attorneys tonight. Hello.
Yeah, this is not really a legal question, but I was just wondering, I was a prospective juror in a trial last week in Youngstown court that your firm was representing a client. And I was just wondering if you could say anything about what the outcome of that trial was, because it seemed like it was going to be a really interesting trial.
Well, unfortunately, they have a saying, and it says you can't win them all. So we did not, unfortunately, prevail in that case, but we gave it the best shot we could. So,
Juror,
it seemed like it was going to be very interesting, and I was just really interested in finding that out.
What was your juror
But
number?
I have to
Just out
say,
of
Brian
curiosity.
Kopp did a heck of a job going through the jurors. He had
don't
some really
compliment
interesting
Brian.
questions, and
Please, his head. It's hard enough bringing his head into the front.
No, Brian Kopp's a great attorney, a down
my
earth guy.
God.
Juror, what number were you? Just out of curiosity.
What number, juror?
I was way toward the end of it. I was like one of the last, probably the last 8 people that would have been.
Yeah, okay.
Let me ask you a question, caller. This would be an interesting insight. What was there about Brian Kopp and questioning the jurors that you
God.
liked?
He brought up a lot of things that you just wouldn't think would be brought up in a case like that. His questions
You mean to you as a juror or to the people?
to the jurors, yeah, asking him questions, things that I probably would have never thought of for a case like that.
In other words, to select you for the jury, are you talking
So
about?
what they do,
Yes.
Ron, it was a civil case. So they put 8 people in the jury box, and then you talk to those 8 people. And then as you either use peremptory or challenges for cause, then they take people that are in the back row and they put them in and they go, did you hear all the questions the lawyers asked? Do you have any questions about it? Blah, 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 blah. And then you go from there.
Yep.
It's
What
called
type of
voir
questions
dire.
what type of questions did Brian ask that made you think, caller?
Oh, I can't think of them offhand, but
No, because
they were
he's a
things
Jedi
that,
master,
for that type
okay?
of case, I would have never thought of
Right,
asking somebody.
right. He's a Brian's a down
Please,
to earth,
Ron,
very good
please, Ron,
attorney.
please.
He's extremely good. He's
Please,
intelligent.
Ron, please.
He's smart. He can relate to a juror.
Ron,
He's
please.
probably the
I'm-
best the firm has to offer. Is
yeah,
Attorney
thank you.
Brian Kopp.
Yes, I am. I'm the
Very good.
Thank
I'm a
Okay,
simp.
thank you very much.
I'm a simp.
Yeah, a simple man. You are. Brian Kopp is outstanding. Would you not agree, Frank?
Tremendous.
Yeah. How about
But
you,
I'll
Mark?
give-
Would you not agree?
Absolutely, absolutely.
I'll give the old man credit. I've been in some jury trials.
He's been in some battle. Frank and I have been
Yeah,
in some
so
battles.
I'll give. I like to. I
know-
love to
you
bust
know-
his chops. Now I will tell you this: they have 2 very different styles.
Oh yeah, we have 2 very different styles.
Right,
David
Brian.
is kick the door in, guns a blazing.
I'm like a pit bull.
Okay, corral.
Yeah, Brian's like a ninja. Okay,
Right.
that's the best way I can describe it.
But the idea
Would you
is-
say, Frank, Brian comes across as a very thoughtful, intellectual, cross-examining man, and Dave comes across as a
No.
simp?
No,
I don't know what simp means. I can't answer that.
I think he. All right, it's a new
All I
term
know
I'm
is in
gonna
our.
be
You got to
using.
hear this, Ron. Let me tell you a quick story. In our last jury trial, Frank and I were in. Okay, the client goes, "Hey, Dave, if it's all right for you, I'd like Frank to be lead counsel." I go, "Oh, no problem, Frank. You're lead counsel." And so I was. It was my witness to cross-examine. The prosecutor's up asking questions. I objected. Judge sustained it. Didn't even get to sit down. The prosecutor reopened the door, went up, said, "Judge, I think you got to grant a mistrial now." Judge goes, "Yep, we got to grant a mistrial." So we go back to the table and go, "Did your lead lawyer do that, by the way?
Well,
Did the
you
lead
know,
lawyer do that?"
we had to give him an insignificant witness, and that guy screwed up. So that's what happened. So let's just be honest.
So
All right,
Frank
let's
being
take
the
a-
lead lawyer, I was busting the client's chops
Yeah,
really
he was.
bad.
It was.
Really bad. I go, "Did your lead
Uh.
lawyer get you that mistrial?" I'm a little confused. I know I'm an old man. You want to wheel me out into the pasture. But that was my objection.
Toby Keith, I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm good once as I ever was.
There you go. All right.
That was his moment.
Let's
Oh,
take
I'm
some
gonna have a lot
calls
more
with
moments, Frank. We got a lot of trials coming up, bro.
with our attorneys. You're on the air. Do you have a question for the guys?
Hello.
Caller, hello.
Yeah,
Go ahead with your question, please.
I am 71 years old, and I got very sick a year ago Christmas. I was hospitalized. I had 3 blood transfusions and numerous surgeries. And I just had new blood work taken. And my doctor called me 2 days ago and told me they found a trace of Hep C in my blood. I have never tested for Hep C in my life. And I've had a lot of blood work done because I suffer anemia periodically. Do I have a lawsuit on that?
So are you saying it's going to be hard to determine the cause of your Hep C? Right?
Well, I had numerous surgeries.
Okay, but no,
And
I understand you
the
have a
final
numerous surgery, and you've probably had numerous blood infusions, correct?
I had 3 blood transfusions.
So
throughout
it's
the
hard to
process.
figure out who gave you or how you got the
It was
Hep
St.
C. I don't know how
It was
you can
St.
catch. I
Joe's
know
Hospital.
you can get Hep C from a blood transfusion, but I also think there are other ways you can catch hepatitis C. And
Oh,
so,
yes, I know that, but I've always been tested and I've never had Hep C.
listen, you're not
in my
understanding what
life
I'm saying,
ever.
caller.
And I'm 71 and I show up with Hep C.
Okay, so if you were to bring a case, you would have to prove by preponderance of the evidence where you contracted the Hep C from. And that's the problem you'd have with your case.
Well, I mean, if she got it from a
Well,
blood transfusion, don't they have to screen the
I
blood
got
and
it
They
from
everything?
the
do,
blood
but
transfusion.
the point
I
is,
have my other blood work.
that's
I
not
can
the only
prove
way
I've
you can
never
get Hep
had
C.
Yeah, but it's like through needles, through sexual contact from mother to
No.
child during pregnancy, piercings, tattoos. I don't know that
Were
this
you
caller
getting
is
any
involved in
tattoos
any of that
recently?
stuff.
I'm 71 years old. I have no tattoos. I have nothing of that.
Yeah,
All right, so it probably came from a blood transfusion. But I don't know.
It definitely came from a blood transfusion.
All right, but which blood transfusion? Which
Well,
one?
they were done all together at one time. That's how sick I was.
It's I'm telling you, the problem with your case is causation.
yeah, it'd be tough to prove causation because you have to pin it down. You have to say exactly when it happened, how it happened, and you have to cross that bridge, get through that door before you get to damages.
And then what
Well, we know
problems
it-
is
we-
the Hep
we-
C causing you?
Well, I'm having a lot of problems. I still never really recuperated, and it's been a year.
Okay,
and I have all these other different symptoms.
correlation
I
doesn't
prefer
prove
not to mention.
correlation doesn't prove causation. So you had major surgery, you're a little elderly, and you're not as peppy as you used to be. I'm not as peppy as I used to be. You see what I'm saying? Just
No,
because.
I went down to 90. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I dropped down to 97 pounds. At the time, I got an abscess on the liver, is what they found, and then it went to the gallbladder.
Yeah, but
and they had to put a
ma'am,
stent.
listen to me. Listen
Yeah.
to me. You had all these other maladies. You had comorbidity kind of things happening to you. An abscess on the liver, an
But it
abscess
was
on.
one hospital.
I understand
No.
it was one hospital, but the one hospital didn't cause you to get an abscess, correct? That developed naturally.
Correct.
Hep C didn't cause you to have an abscess,
Right.
correct? And so that abscess outside of the Hep C could have made you sick. Just because you have a Hep C doesn't mean that's why you went down to 97 pounds. You're the problem
No,
with
I know that.
the problem
I
with
had no Hep C, according to my blood work.
I
prior
understand
to
completely.
surgery.
You've had no Hep C, you got Hep C now. As a result of you getting Hep C,
Yes.
what has the sickness of Hep C caused you that couldn't have come from other conditions you had?
How has your life changed? How has it affected your life?
Solely due to the Hep C. No,
Let her answer.
not to
Let her
other
answer.
things. To just the Hep C. Can you narrow it down to the Hep C?
Let her
Yes,
in.
I can.
Okay, what is it,
Talking
please?
to my doctor, it's a fine trace of Hep C that showed up in my blood work. And never have I ever.
Okay, I
Okay.
got
Ma'am,
that.
how has it
Incidentally,
changed your
Dave-
life?
Dave, I got a text from someone that says she also signed a consent for the blood in the fine print in the consent made.
No, I didn't. I was delirious. I don't even remember having the
Okay,
blood.
there's
blood
called implied
transfusion.
consent. Ma'am, you still haven't answered my question. Supposing I could
I'm
prove,
sorry.
supposing I could prove that someone negligently gave you Hep C, I'll give you that. What has, as a direct and proximate cause of you contracting hepatitis C, what has happened to you in your life that couldn't be attributed to some other malady that you had in your life?
Nothing I could think of.
Well, then you don't have
Well,
any
there's the
damages.
case.
Well, I'm
There's,
71 years without Hep C.
I,
All
All
right.
of a sudden it shows up.
Yeah. So, okay, I think you answered your
Well,
own question.
it's tragic. It is. It's
I feel
tragic that
bad
that
for you,
happened,
but
and we are so sorry for you, ma'am. That's terrible.
This is what but I want to use this as a teaching moment. There's a lot of medical mistakes that happen.
Yes.
That doesn't mean they equate to a medical malpractice case. Doctors are not perfect. There are mistakes made.
And
a
even
lot
if
of
you have
people-
medical malpractice, in order to recover, you still need to show
yeah,
some
sure,
damages.
there could be a
I always
breach of the
tell
standard
people
of
like this.
care and-
No blood, no foul.
Right.
Meaning you have to have damages, substantial damages.
Well,
We
not
have
just no blood, right? I mean, there could be blood, but there's got to be significant blood. Sadly, they've made it so hard to prosecute medical malpractice cases
yeah.
that you need to.
We have a rule in this case, in this office. It sounds sad, and I don't mean this to sound morbid, but they're so difficult. Are you mortally wounded? Are you dead? Other than that, they're so expensive to bring
Yeah.
that they're
Not
they're
worth it.
They're not
And
worth it.
To the point earlier is not everything equates to malpractice.
Right. Not every a bad surgical
result is
outcome.
not always malpractice.
Right. Well, the surgery didn't work. Right. There are a lot of surgeries that don't work. Well, I got an infection in the hospital. Right. You
Lot
could
of
be in the
infections
most
hospital.
you could be in the most sterile environment and get an infection.
Absolutely.
So people equate bad outcomes with malpractice. That is not the standard. Malpractice is a doctor failed to live up to an acceptable standard. And as a direct and proximate result of that doctor failing to live up to an acceptable standard as set by people in his profession, you got to be able to show you had damages and that those damages are proximately and directly related to that mistake.
Yes.
And that's
All
pretty
right.
high bar.
Next call with our attorneys. You're on the air tonight. The Legal Show brought to you by Beatrice Cop. Hello.
Hello. Thanks a lot, gentlemen, for taking my call.
Go ahead.
I have a business question.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to know what liability I have if I am a silent partner in a S corporation. The stocks are divided three ways, and I own a third of them.
The what?
So
The stocks.
Stocks, okay.
In the S corporation. He owns a
Yeah.
third. What,
it's a small corporation.
and you want to know what liability you have?
Correct.
Liability for
David?
what?
Well, just, I understand like the financial ones, but so many times I've heard of, and don't get me wrong, the business has been there 35 years. It's a great business. But now as a silent partner, I'm trying to limit all my liabilities at my age.
Okay,
Well-
so there are risks that are insurable. Like if someone's working for the corporation or driving a car, you need to have insurance.
But you still have liability.
Well, but
Well, no,
a silent.
as a shareholder, he doesn't, unless they pierce the corporate veil.
Right.
He doesn't have personal liability.
No, not personal. I'm
I
saying.
think that's
Well-
what he's asking
Oh,
about.
yeah. What
A
if,
silent partner in an S corp has limited liability, and you're liable for the amount of money typically that you invest in the
yeah,
business,
but you're
No, no,
and it
what
protects
he's
your personal
asking is,
assets.
If someone goes out and does something, is he personally liable?
No,
No, but
that's why you create
But
the S
there
corp.
are ways you can pierce the corporate veil and hold them personally liable. But those are few and
And
far
that's
between.
exactly the statement I heard.
Okay,
Well-
so how do you pierce that, Dave?
Well,
Explain it
if
to
they're
us.
not, if they're not
Make
it's
commingled
tough.
funds,
Yeah, and you're not following corporate governance. You're not holding regular meetings
yeah.
and doing stuff like that. But and it doesn't have to be that strict. But if you're holding meetings and having minutes and doing things that you have corporate responsibilities, it's very hard for them to pierce the corporate veil.
If you have 4 businesses and you're commingling all the funds and none of them really have any identity, and you're doing something almost not illegal, but it's so rogue, and
Now-
one of your employees gets in some sort of
The
issue.
only way you get it is with respondeat superior, meaning if someone's working for the corporation and they do some harm to a third person, not only is that person responsible, but the corporation's also responsible. And now your
But
question
not
is
you personally.
not you personally, unless they pierce the corporate
Right.
veil. But most of the things that could get you in trouble are insurable,
Yes.
which will insulate you
Yes.
Now,
as long as you have proper insurance.
he is jointly and severably liable for the business debts.
Yeah, sure.
So
I
you
don't
are
think he knows about the business risk. He said that. He's
Okay.
talking about someone in a car
Suing
accident.
somebody,
Personal
yes.
liability.
He's talking about if someone's driving for the corporation, they get in an accident, can they come after him personally? The answer is no. They can't come after you personally unless they can pierce the corporate veil, but it's a big hurdle to get over.
All right,
I
Carl.
see.
All right.
I really appreciate that.
Thank
It's
you.
the Legal
Good luck.
Show brought to you by Beatrice Kopp, and you're on the air with the attorneys tonight. What's your question?
All right, before I get to my question, can you tell me what does pierce the corporate veil mean?
Okay, so it equates to, imagine the corporate veil is a wall,
Right.
okay? And it protects you inside the wall. The members of the corporation are protected by this
Individually.
wall that is the
From
corporation.
personal liability.
From personal. In order to get to the members within the wall, they have to go through the wall.
Right. So you have a business.
Does that include employees
Yes.
Yeah.
So
or just
listen.
officers?
No, you're looking at it incorrectly. Let me put it to you this way.
Okay.
You form a corporation, okay? Whether you have a corporation or you're an individual, people that are working for you, they can always hold either you or the corporation responsible under a doctrine called respondeat superior, master servant. If someone is in the scope and course of their employment, not only is that person that's doing the negligent act responsible, but the person they're doing it for, the negligence is implied to them. Now, if you have a corporation,
I got it.
that corporation stands as like a force field. The corporation could be sued, but you cannot be sued individually unless you've done something wrong in which they could pierce the protection of the corporate wall. But
got
here's what I tell people.
I got it.
Most of the times, the things you have to worry about are insurable events.
Yes.
And just make sure you have enough insurance so you don't have to worry about that personal liability.
Okay.
Got it?
All right. I'm an employee of a company that, yes, sir. Thank you. I'm an employee of a company that transports people for medical appointments and such.
Okay.
I'm in a company vehicle and I drive into a business that has a drive-through.
Okay.
I drive in the aisle between the row of parking spots against the building and the row of parking spots against the road. And that roadway leads to the drive-through, but I don't enter the drive-through. I pull partially into some handicap spots and then reverse into the spots that go along the road.
Gotcha.
And I never leave the roadway. I never enter a parking spot. I'm just reversing. And a guy comes in from the street and speeds behind me and swerves around me to go into the parking spots the row of parking spots that I'm backing into, and sideswipes the back of my vehicle. He's going so fast and not looking, which he admits to me and the officer. He's going so fast that he travels 30 feet before he stops. There's minimal damage to my company vehicle, and his Jeep has $4,000 worth of damage. The insurance company is siding with his insurance company under the subrogation in that they say that I'm more than 51% responsible.
Okay, but you have
because
insurance.
he
The company has
control
insurance.
of the roadway.
Look,
I was in the roadway. They
look.
say he has control of the roadway.
Okay,
That's it.
guess what? That is between your insurance company as his insurance company. You don't have a consent policy. When you buy insurance, your insurance company gets to make that call on your behalf. You have no say-so over that.
Right.
You could disagree with them all you want, but they're going to do what they want.
And thank God
But
you
why
got
is
insurance.
my employer's insurance company even though I have video of what happened, there's a dash cam and a rear-facing dash cam.
Yeah.
I clearly had control of the roadway.
All right.
Why are they allowing the subrogation from the complainant?
Couldn't answer that
You
question.
couldn't answer that question. That's a call they get to make. And you have to, sometimes in life, caller, you know what I say you have to be? You have to be like a mule in a hailstorm. You just have to sit there and take it. Okay.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah, my employer's getting screwed. Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right.
You're on the air with our attorneys. Hello.
I want to see Kareem Hunt win a Super Bowl ring.
Well, then you need the Chiefs to win.
Right. Hey, Ron, for the callers. So that question about the corporate veil. When you're in court,
Does he already have a Super Bowl ring?
he does not.
All right.
No, he does not. No,
Thank
no,
you for your call. Go ahead, Mark.
Go ahead, Mark.
Courts are most likely to pierce the corporate veil when there's evidence of fraud, blatant disregard for corporate formalities, which you said, David, inadequacies of capitalization, or commingling of personal and company funds.
Right.
So that's for that caller that said, what is piercing the corporate veil? That's what they would
And
need
now
to show
about
to
the
pierce
caller
the veil.
about Kareem Hunt. Here's my question, and perhaps, Frank, you can help me answer this. Will the Browns make it into the Super Bowl before I'm in the dirt?
Absolutely not. And I love the Browns like I love family.
Okay.
I mean, I'm
going to be in the dirt before they're in the
you and
Super
me
Bowl.
both. I don't think I'll make
but
it.
Based on your aging that I see on TikTok, as you call it, I would say you would be in the dirt. Do you film a lot of your TikToks on the boat, Dave?
TikToks? They're not TikToks, Ron. They're TikToks. And no, I use a lot of green screen because usually
you're not on your boat doing it?
No, I'm in the basement. I'm in the basement.
Basement?
The apartment in the basement of my house, okay? That's usually where I film
Put
most
like
of my-
waterfalls behind you on the green screen or something exciting, a bullfight or something exciting.
I don't know how to use all the apps yet.
Okay.
I'm trying
Do you
to
think
figure
you
it
could
out.
get better lighting? I think that can make you look a little younger.
No, I like looking old, okay?
Okay.
Boomer out, okay?
More calls for Grandpa and staff. News Radio 570 WQN. You're on the air. Beatrice Cop Legal Show. Hello, caller. Are you there?
Yes.
What's your question?
Oh, it's a long story, but I'll make it real quick.
Well, that's
Someone
good.
had stolen my vehicle, and they ran me over with it.
Stole your vehicle?
That's called
Stole my
adding
vehicle,
insult to
ran me
injury.
Over with it.
Ran you over.
That's called felonious assault, but go ahead.
And the police released the van back to the same person that stole it when they took me to the hospital.
Hold a second.
I ended up going to trauma and getting pins and plates and screws in there.
Wait.
Was it a wife or a girlfriend?
No, an associate.
Okay.
An associate. What does that mean, an associate?
Right.
Yeah.
You got to define what an
Just a friend.
associate.
A friend? What kind of a friend would steal your car and run you over?
I'm just saying.
Is it a female friend?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
It was a female.
We sussed that out.
Yeah, we really. It sounded a little sketch.
Yeah.
We had to flush that one out a little bit. All right. So you were dating a girl.
What's funny is this is not the first guy I heard this happen to.
So you
Happened
were
to a good
dating
friend of
girl-
mine. It truly did. Happened to a good buddy of mine. True story.
You were dating a girl.
just talked
She
about
didn't
this.
steal your car. You kind of let her use your car, right?
No, absolutely not. I refused to take her somewhere. I got out of the van. She hopped in the driver's seat
And
took
ran
off
you
in
over.
it. I tried to chase her down, and she ran me over.
Well, she
Do you-
should have
are
been
you-
charged with.
Are you still seeing her, caller?
We're so sorry for your
Absolutely not.
misfortune. We're so sorry for
Let
your
me ask you this,
misfortune.
caller, and I don't mean this to how it sounds. Are you head over heels in love with her?
I was for a minute.
All right.
But,
You know, the
she turned
crazy
into
ones
a-
are always the best ones. You understand that, right? You're probably going to be back with her in a couple
But
weeks. If I had to bet any money on it, you're going to get back
Absolutely not.
together with, oh, yeah, you say that now. So you start missing on her, okay? You say that now. Did they charge
That
her
feeling
with
hit you like a
felonious
ton of
assault?
bricks.
I want to know if they charged with felonious assault.
No, he was the only one to file a report when the police showed up.
Wait a minute, wait.
I was unconscious.
Can't.
The call
So
of the
they
month.
went off
Caller,
her word alone.
caller, she committed a crime
Long
on
story
you,
short,
and
they gave
somehow.
her my van back.
They've
I'm
already called your office about this. So
I'm
you're
so-
going to have to
I'm sorry.
dig in a little deeper.
I'm sorry. You're gonna have to. I don't know how she gets in your van, runs you over. You go to the hospital. They release the van back to her.
He's
and they were
unconscious. I could just see him lying on the ground unconscious while she's giving a statement to the cops.
saying he ran out in front of me. Okay.
Are you okay, honey? Are you okay? Here, take the van.
You should really follow up with the police and file a complaint. She committed a crime on you.
I did. They said the case was closed.
Oh, well,
Wow.
well, we're only hearing one side of the story
trauma
then.
for 3 days.
All
Yeah.
right. Thank you, my friend. Dave, tomorrow morning, WFMJ Today.
I'm going to
quickly.
talk about something that he just said called hit and run. When you have to stay and when you
Perfect segue.
perfect segue. All right, Ron, we'll see you.
Thank you. The Legal Show brought to you by Beatrice Kopp on News Radio 570.
Oh my God. Oh,
That
was the best. That is my favorite show.
has to be one of the